Hello, Kigali. Hello, Rwanda. We are live and we are back. This is Career Space, and today we have a very special guest for you. But before that, I'd like to know how you guys are doing. It's been just over 2 weeks since we last saw you. Let us know in the chat box how you've been doing, how you're feeling, what you want to hear, what you're looking forward to. Also, interact with people in the comments section. Let us know where you're joining from. Let us know how your week has been. Just basically interact with us in the comment box, and we see the numbers are growing. Let us know again where you're joining from, and also remember to follow us on Skills Rwanda. This is our 10th show, and today we have the Jasiri talent. Sorry, that's the Jasiri Talent Investor Program. And we have a special guest, Aline, who I'll bring in later. But first, I want to hear from you guys. Let us know how you're doing. Let us know how you are, and then we'll get this show on the road. Okay, I'm still waiting for your questions. I'm still waiting for your replies. Tell us where you're from. And also just follow us on Skills Rwanda. That's on Twitter, LinkedIn, and also Facebook. I see there's a comment coming in here. Hi, everyone. My name is Sonia. Let me just post it here. Hi, everyone. My name is Sonia Tafari. I am joining from Washington, D.C. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Thank you for arranging the event. Thank you very much, Sonia. Many more people, please let us know where you're joining from, what you're up to, and then I'll bring in our guest, Aline, to take us off with the presentation. Okay, as we wait for more people to comment and interact with us, I think we'll just start off the show immediately. As I said, we had actually, this is our ninth show. Last week the previous session we had BDF, and they talked to you about how to basically get funding, but also what business advisory services you can get from them. Well, when we started this career space sessions, we started off with interview skills, CV skills, basically skills that can help you while you're busy looking for a job. And so as you see, we've moved on now more into like, what other opportunities can you get? So entrepreneurship opportunities. We had LinkedIn the other day, how to use platforms like LinkedIn. And so every single time the sessions will be different, and we will be chopping it up and changing it a bit, just so that it's not so redundant, and you can experience different things that will help you in your career path. Now let's just go to the comments again. I can see we have Isaac telling us he's from Rwanda. Always appreciate work for RDB. Thank you very much. We appreciate you, and we appreciate having you join the session. Alfred is also joining us, and he says, hey, I'm Alfred. I'm joining from Rwanda. Welcome, Alfred. I hope it's not too hot outside, and I hope we're not taking too much of your Friday afternoon, but we're happy that you have joined us. And yeah, and so as the more comments come in, we will carry on with the show. Yes, Daniel is just, hi, Daniel. Nice to see you. But yeah, so today we have a program called the Jasiri Talent Investor Program. It's from Alan Gilles Gray Philanthropy. I'm sure some of you have not heard of it. If you haven't, don't worry. Aline, the country manager, will be here to explain it, and I'll bring her in a bit as we get more comments coming in. Hi, this is Richard now coming in. Here from Rwanda, looking forward to exchange happening here. Thank you very much, Richard. But yeah, so as I was saying, So this is an investor program. She's going to tell us more about it, and she's going to let us know how you can join, how you can apply for it, when the deadline is, what you expect to get from it. And yeah, so for the next hour or so, that's what we're going to be discussing. It's just me and her. Today, Lydia is off, but she'll be joining us in the next session. I know you miss her, and I know you look forward to having her back. And so without further ado, I think I'll bring in Aline. Good afternoon, Aline. I hope you can hear us well. Say hello to our awesome audience. They're joining us from Facebook, LinkedIn, and also YouTube. The floor is yours.
Good afternoon, Norbert. Thank you so much for having me. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are, from DC and Rwanda, Africa, Europe, wherever you are. I am so excited to be with you, share our program with you, and most importantly, looking forward to engaging with you, hearing your questions, and Norbert and I looking forward to having this conversation as engaging as it can be. Thank you, Norbert.
Thank you very much, Aline, and that's such a warm welcome. Thank you very much. Yeah, so like I was saying, so this is actually just a program for young graduates, but also not too young, up to 35 years old, and you're going to hear more about it. But let's just go back to the comment section before we go straight into the presentation, and let's just see what our audience are telling us. So we have Ivere joining from Boston. The RGB, such amazing work. Well done. Thank you very much. We also have another LinkedIn user, Cedric, joining from Belgium. Nice to meet you. Thank you, Cedric. So we have people from all over the globe. Aline, I think you'll be excited to hear that some of them will be coming back, some of them will be returning, and I hope they'll be returning in time for the Talent Jasiri program. Any other thing you'd like to add before we go straight into the presentation?
Absolutely, Norbert. It's great to see our youth from all the different corners of Rwanda, and just the connection to Rwanda, and for many to home. And Norbert, I don't know if this is a good time to just do a little bit of an introduction of myself before we get started on the Talent Investor program, if you allow.
No, absolutely. Feel free. The floor is yours. Take off like a phantom.
Okay. So my name is Aline Kabanda, and I'm Rwandan. I'm based in Kigali, a beautiful country of 1,000 hills. It's quite sunny today, and I was very, very much looking forward to this conversation as more than just an opportunity to present our work, as an opportunity to connect. I'm a professional, have been in different fields over the last 16 years. From the medical field and public health, education, and now entrepreneurship development. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that. Working with youth is a passion, and one that is very close to my heart. My purpose is really working with youth and helping them just realize the infinite potential, but also the opportunities that are available that would help them realize their aspirations. And in this context, I will focus on entrepreneurship, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that. So Norbert, that's it for me for a quick intro. I'm a mom. I have two wonderful boys, aged 17 and 15, and a mentor to many young people, young women and men.
Thank you very much, Aline. And personally, from my side, I've had the privilege to work with Aline on a couple of projects and a couple of activities regarding the Ellen Jill Gray philanthropy and also the Jasiri program that you will hear a bit about. And I can just say she's absolutely amazing. She's a great person to work with, very calm, very smart, intelligent, and it's really with lots of experience, actually. And maybe you can even tell them what you did before you joined the Ellen Jill Gray Philanthropy Organization.
Thank you, Norbert. Prior to perhaps my most sort of recent engagement, I led a higher learning institution here in Rwanda called Akira Institute, which later grew and expanded to Davis College. And so in my role, I was in charge of the growth, the expansion, and the development of the institute. But I think it was more making sure that education isn't just about the provision of skills. I think it was really for us ensuring that we are connecting our young people to employment opportunities. And so our measurement of success has been looking at how many young people are finding or are able to launch their careers. And so I did that for close to 10 years. And then that actually sparked my interest in really understanding how best we can create those jobs. And the best leverage in creating jobs is entrepreneurship. And so that really was a very natural progression to the work that I'm doing now, which is about working with entrepreneurs and providing them with all that they need in order to succeed as entrepreneurs, succeed as individuals. And so, I will tell you a little bit more about the program, but that was my latest engagement.
Yeah, thank you very much, Aline. And yeah, I think you guys have seen it for yourself, especially some of you who were at Hakila under her tutelage. You can even comment and let us know how that was. But now she's at Alan Jill Gray Philanthropy, and they're doing some amazing, amazing work. And so without further ado, I think we can jump straight into the presentation. There you go. And yeah.
Norbert, thank you once again. And now I'm going to take you to this journey and my hope at the end of this session and at the end of this presentation is for you to really get a good understanding of the Jasiri Talent Investor Program. If you see yourself as an aspiring entrepreneur, this is a program for you. If you have big dreams and seeing potential opportunities within the different sectors that are existing and seeing how you can actually turn those gaps and those opportunities into a high growth venture, this program is for you. If you're more of a creator and you really are looking forward to creating an impact, creating job for others, this program is for you. So without further ado, I'm going to walk you through this presentation, and the way we will structure it would be me going through this, and then at the end of this presentation would have an opportunity to engage with you and have more of a Q&A. So my role at the Alan and Jill Gray Philanthropy is that of a country director, which I've been occupying for the last year. We launched our program in December last year, already have an existing cohort that is going through the program, and we're looking forward to seeing the amazing ventures that would come up as a result of their journey through the Talent Investor Program. So just give me a second. So at the Alan and Jill Gray Philanthropy, our vision is that of a productive, African, really the African that we want, the African that we see. And, we through our work and mission would be to invest in entrepreneurs. And here I will talk about the mission of responsible entrepreneurs, which is, looking into yourself as an entrepreneur, not just for your own proper gain, but looking for the common good, the broader purpose or the broader impact that you can create. And we know that entrepreneurship is the greatest leverage in accelerating meaningful employment and creating jobs. And really understanding that with the African population, with the majority of it being youth, and one of the biggest challenge facing Africa being in employment, really the mission here is to support entrepreneurs understanding that this is the greatest leverage in creating jobs. And so Alan and Jill Gray Philanthropy was founded by Mr. Alan Gray. He was a self-made entrepreneur from humble beginnings. And in 1973, he founded an investment management firm. And he had a very interesting, longer term, very intentional professional approach in his business and really creating nurturing relationship with his clients. And his asset management firm became and grew to become one of the largest of its kind in its continent. And so he then, from a place of success, but then moving to a place of purpose and legacy and contribution, decided to endow his controlling interest to the firm, to the Aline and Gilles Gray Philanthropy and Foundation, in order to make a positive contribution for the common good. And so, unfortunately, about close to 2 years ago, Mr. Alan Gray passed away. But before doing that, from South Africa, which is where his company was located, and many of the sister companies or sister organizations that he created, his vision was then to grow, to a broader African and really contributing to Africa, in a broader sense. And so, the East African region was selected as part of the philanthropy's expansion plan, with Rwanda being the headquarter. And so there are numerous initiatives in the Gray philanthropy ecosystem. We have a program called Wabumbuzi Entrepreneurship Challenge, which we launched in high school in collaboration with the Ministry of Education and the Rwanda Education Board, among other partners. And there are many other sister organizations within this ecosystem. I think the key focus here has always been, out of all most of this organization, really the focus on entrepreneurship development. So now allow me to focus on the Jasiri Talent Investor Program, and I'll start by providing an overview. I'll then go through selection, and then I'll take a deep dive into the program itself. So, and before we dive into Jasiri in particular, allow me to explain what is a talent investor. There are few, but a number of organizations that actually piloted and tested this approach, and which actually happened to be very successful. That the investment is in the individual first rather than companies. Now, if you're looking at a company is created by an owner or an entrepreneur. And so many of the accelerators or incubators are looking at supporting the business and the entrepreneur, where the idea has been created, and perhaps the company is generating revenue. The talent investor is actually a program that supports first individual either before they launch their idea, or if they have been an entrepreneur, perhaps they might have failed and want to have an opportunity to reimagine themselves. So it really is the investment and the focus on the individual first, rather than companies, team, or ideas. It's about understanding their motives, their entrepreneurial aspirations, and really understanding, coming from a place of the individuals, then teams, and then company. Talent Investor also provide funding to the individuals during the program, and they are looking at a program in a holistic way. So really understanding what are the tools, what are the resources that an entrepreneur needs in order to thrive. Access to mentors, access to business coaches, access to industry leaders, and really creating an ecosystem or a community around an entrepreneur. And so with that in mind, Talent Investor would also, because they're gathering really highly entrepreneurial individuals, then there's this opportunity to actually find co-founders within a specific cohort, which then would allow those individuals to form high-performance teams and high-growth ventures. And so taking that context in mind, the Jasiri Talent Investor Program is a fully funded one-year program for highly entrepreneurial, high-potential individuals who demonstrate a history of entrepreneurial action. By that I mean individuals who in the past might have seeing gaps, opportunities within a specific sector, within the area of work, and came up with a solution. We're looking at individuals pre-idea. So it might be that you're working in a specific sector, say tech, and in your work or day-to-day work, you are either seeing opportunities, seeing gaps, and coming up with solutions. So really individuals who have demonstrated a history of entrepreneurial action, who came up with those innovative solutions. And there might also be individuals who might have been, who might have started a very new journey as entrepreneur. Maybe they are at the ideation phase and they don't really know how to move their ideas forward, and or are stuck, and or are looking for a new beginning. But we're looking at individuals who are not running existing sort of businesses that are generating revenues. For that, we'll have an accelerator that will be launched next year. So the talent investor is really looking at highly entrepreneurial individuals who are aspiring entrepreneurs, who are looking forward, have the drive and the desire to become entrepreneurs. So our approach is really long-term in developing and supporting entrepreneurs. And we're using what we call a progression framework. So we know that for someone to start a business, there's this ideation phase. And then there's this moment where, there's a team formation where, co-founders are coming together with a belief behind a certain idea. Then there's prospecting, where you actually are trying to understand the market, understand the problem that you're trying to solve and how that address a specific audience. And then there's the validation phase, the prototyping, the market entry. So our approach, the reason why the Jasiri Talent Investor Program is that over 1 year, is that our commitment is to walk and work with those aspiring entrepreneurs. We call them fellows at that stage, throughout the whole stage, from ideation to prospecting, team formation, because they would come and meet equally ambitious individuals, to the validation stage of their ideas, to when they prototype their ideas and test them into the market, up until the formalization of their idea and their market entry. I touched on this a little bit, but we believe that entrepreneurial teams are at the heart of new venture creation. And so with that, we provide the entrepreneur with this access to a large pool of potential co-founders. We're really coming from a place of understanding what are the specific barriers that entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs are facing on an individual level, team level, business level, including financial level. And so that, as I described earlier on, is the more holistic and comprehensive approach in supporting entrepreneurs. Now, the selection process actually is a multi-stage process that follows a competency-based approach, and I'll speak to that in a moment. And so the first step is application. And so applications are now open, and you can apply through our website, www.jasiri.org, as per the below. And then within 7 days, you will receive a survey, which then would allow us to really test and understand your intention in becoming an entrepreneur, but also understand your journey, as in either having identified a specific challenge and having, and the ways you've solved it. Really, how entrepreneurial are you? And so that is what we call explorer. Then the third stage is that of an interview or pitch. And so there will be an opportunity for you to pitch an idea that you believe in. And so again, one of these stages to really test the different competencies that I would explain in a minute. And then the fourth stage is a psychometric assessment, which would allow us to get to know you better, and how then your perception of yourself and your as sort of feed into the different entrepreneurial competencies that we evaluate. And then the final stage is that of a selection conference, where our top selected individuals are all coming together, about 100 of them, and they interact through different case studies that we give them. And we sort of evaluate and get to know them and how they interact within a group. And there are a number of competencies that we test as well. And so I touched on competencies a lot, but what we measure is really, your resilience, your need for autonomy, or your need for achievement, your drive. We're looking at how action oriented are you? How resourceful are you? We're looking at, how are you working as a high performance team? But in this case, during the assessment, how are you working within the team or the groups that you assigned on during in those particular assessment? So these are some of the competencies that I want to go back to the slide that we're assessing in these different stages of the selection process. So I'm sure you're asking and wondering, who is our ideal candidate? Who are we looking for? We're looking for individuals who are aged, between 25 and 35, even though we know that we might have a gem, we might have an exceptional individual who might not be within that range, but who is and actually have such a drive to become an entrepreneur and who's really committed in walking this journey through the Talent Investor Program. We're looking at an individual who has a unique ability to understand a specific sector, identify opportunities and gap in that sector, and actually might see or might have some ability in turning those gap or those opportunities in a high growth venture. We're looking at individuals who have a recognized higher academic qualification and we're sector agnostic, can be any sector, any field. We're looking at somebody who has a history of excellence or achievement. Somebody who, if we were to ask either a supervisor where you worked at or someone knowing you, has that history of evidence of lasting impact wherever that person has focused their attention. Very, very importantly, we're looking at individuals who have a burning desire to start and build an innovative, high-growth business. Individuals who are team players, understanding that you may achieve much being alone, but you may achieve actually much more being part of a team. And so someone who is really excited to meet equally ambitious co-founders. In terms of the program, and I've talked about it being 1 year. The program after the selection starts with about a 2 to 3 months entrepreneurship essential program. And that is an online program. We know that our fellows will be coming from different industries, different backgrounds. And so this program is to really make sure that they're all equipped in navigating a startup environment, understanding key entrepreneurship and business essentials components. And so this is a program that we run in collaboration with the African Leadership University. It is online, but it is structured in a way that the specific deliverables, that then you do the specific sessions that you attend on a weekly basis. It's quite light touch, but then it also allow, you understanding that you might be engaged in other things while you're running this, the entrepreneurship essentials, but also as the fellow is preparing themselves for the residential program. After that online entrepreneurship and business essentials program, fellows are expected to come to Rwanda, travel to Rwanda for a 3 months residential program. And so during that program, which is actually what we call an intensive residential program, fellows go through the process of ideation, understanding the different problems that they want to solve, really deepening their understanding of that problem. And then they go through a process of prospecting, understanding the market, understanding the customers, using a human-centered design approach, really coming from a place of wanting to understand first, seeking to understand so that they can actually come up with a solution, a product or a service that really address the particular problem. And so during that process, there's an aspect of team formation, and I insisted on this, which then is that as they get to build that community within that cohort, they will come together with selected individuals as teams behind a specific idea that they believe in and behind as part of a specific sector that they're interested in. Our current cohort has a lot of things that they're interested in, from logistics to fintech to agriculture to health. And so that really is some of the dynamics that you would see as, individuals will come together within a specific ideas, and all of these sort of exceptional individuals. And then we'll be running prospecting. I touched on this. So then there will be this process of validating their ideas. And that then, as part of the residential program, there will be demo days where they're pitching their ideas. And that would conclude, the residential program. Successful or high promising, I would say, ideas at that stage will then go through the venture creation stage, which takes 9 months. And during that process, they will go through prototyping, they'll go through testing their ideas in the market up until they're ready to formalize their business. And so I touched a lot on this, but in terms of the business and entrepreneurship essentials component of the Talent Investor, it's done online. We do provide support in terms of internet connectivity, which is about $30 at that point, while you're still in your specific locations. And then during the residential intensive program, then this is where you see on the screen with the different aspects of team formation, prospecting, and validation. So at that stage, we fly in individuals from Kenya to Rwanda, and to Rwanda, and we provide at that point accommodation, meals, and health insurance, as well as a monthly stipend of $250. During that validation stage, our team will receive a $3,000 budget for prototyping and testing past that stage of the residential intensive program. And then during the venture creation, at that stage, individuals can decide, I would like to start my venture in Rwanda. I would like to start my venture in Kenya. And so depending on where they would like to sort of explore and start their venture, a flight and transportation from Kigali to Nairobi will be provided to fellows choosing to establish their ventures in Kenya. And participants at that stage will receive a monthly stipend of $1,000, which then should allow them to cover their accommodation and meals and living expenses. And that and teams would have access to shared working spaces in Kigali and Nairobi upon request. At that stage, as we see how those businesses progress through what I described as the progression framework, at the end of prototyping, teams will receive a cash grant of $7,000. Just to give you, for just sake of time, I won't sort of give you or share a lot of the amazing pictures that we have for our cohort, but this is just our existing cohort of Jasiri fellows from Rwanda and Kenya. Up here on the picture, you can see them going through their process of prospecting, and they're asking themselves all their questions, that they're deepening their understanding of the problem that they're trying to solve, and they're doing that in teams. Below, there's a picture of the fellows having a fireside chat on the topic of market creating innovation, and so you can see them deeply immersed there. So this isn't a training. This isn't what I would describe as an academic training program. It really is a practical application of entrepreneurship, really going through this journey of developing a business idea, but also from a place of openness and understanding the problem that one wants to solve, sensing, understanding the customers who be your clients, and then really making sure that individuals, entrepreneurs are able to go through this journey in developing high growth ventures that would contribute to the development of Rwanda, the development of Kenya, which is where we have our offices currently. And so I just perhaps I realized that I should have mentioned that on a yearly basis, we'll have 2 cohorts of 50 individuals, of which 25 are from Rwanda and 25 are from Kenya. For the time being, the program is offered to individuals from both countries. We're looking forward in the future as we see the result of our work in those 2 countries, the possibilities of expanding in other countries. So that truly is what the Talent Investor is about. I am so pleased and so honored to share of our work. And with that, Norbert, over to you as we kick us off on the Q&A.
Thank you very much, Aline. That was a very insightful, informative presentation. I think even I myself understand the Jasiri Talent Investor Program a bit better. I think just our audience, please, guys, please just ask any questions anything that touched you there that you're not really sure about. Please don't be shy. Ask your questions. And while we're waiting for the questions to come in, Aline, I think I just, it had me thinking as I was going through your presentation and just listening to you talk about the program. And it just made me think, usually when graduates come straight from university and they've just graduated, the first thing they're usually looking for is a job. And, the labor market is not as friendly as people like to believe it is. And so these initiatives that you have, like that Jasiri has brought up, really help the labor market and also helps fresh graduates understand that you can actually be an entrepreneur. What does it take to be an entrepreneur? So I really encourage graduating to really apply. Sorry, I lost you there. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Norbert. I'm here.
Yeah, sorry about that. It was just a small connection issue. But yeah, I was just saying, so I really encourage the youth to really, if you're struggling to find a job, this is programs are here for you. And if you don't even want to look for a job, if you want to be an entrepreneur, not all of us want to be behind a desk from 9 to 5. Some of us want to do it ourselves. I encourage you to apply to this program. And so I think, I don't remember if you mentioned the age gap, but can you just remind us what the age gap is for this program?
Yes, Norbert, I did mention that the age range is about 25 to 35. But then at the same time, I did mention that in some ways it's not restrictive, because we might have an exceptional individual who really is, say, age 23 or 24 and has this drive and burning desire to start this journey as an entrepreneur, and an individual who have this sort of history of exceptional action and has tried some things and is looking forward to this opportunity to receive this support that would help them really sort of develop, or achieve the entrepreneurial aspiration. We're looking for that individual. And so that's why I sort of really focused on describing the individual rather than, sort of the age range, which, again, in responding to your question, would be around that bracket.
Okay, and thank you for just clearing that up, because it's just really, we look at all these applications saying the ideal candidate, but even if you don't fall in that bracket, please don't be afraid to apply. You have nothing to lose. So even if you're not in that age bracket, because you might be that someone special that they're actually looking for, and so don't let that limit you. Please apply to this program. I think maybe let's just start tackling the questions, Aline, if you're ready, or if you want to add something else. I can go ahead and just bring up the questions then.
Please go ahead, Norbert.
Okay, so I think one of the first questions I'll pop up is from Adam. And Adam is asking, when can we expect the next Jasiri application process?
Okay, this is a great question, Adam, because we are currently in the application phase for the second cohort of the Jasiri Talent Investor Program. And so applications are ongoing. You can look into the website. There was a banner passing in, but it's www.jasiri.org, and we'll be taking in applications until mid-December. So I'd encourage you to apply as soon as possible. And as you complete your application, you would already start, the whole application selection process, which I described. So now this is the time.
Okay, yeah. I think I'm just going to also pop one up that is within that one. Let me just find it here. Yeah, so you said, so during that year process, I mean, you mentioned it runs for a year. So what happens after that?
That is an excellent question. Hopefully, at the end of the year, the individuals move from being fellows, aspiring entrepreneurs, to actually launching their businesses. At that point, they are entrepreneurs, and promising ventures from the Jasiri Talent Investor would be able to receive additional individualized support through our accelerator, which we will launch sometime next year. And so the accelerator would look forward to working with entrepreneurs, understanding their respective unique needs as they look forward to, say, grow, expand, scale, looking forward to understanding how best to acquire new customers or new markets, etc. So just to say that, I think I mentioned in the beginning that we have a very sort of longer term holistic approach to entrepreneurship development, in a sense that after the Talent Investor Program, really those promising ventures might be eligible, for the accelerator, as they prove themselves, to have that potential for growth. And so we're taking those ventures at that stage to then support how they can get to the next level of their growth as a business.
Thank you, Aline. And sorry, I also just have a question. So, because you said there was 15 from Kenya, 15 from Rwanda. First question for me is that do the Kenyans and the Rwandans also work together on a venture, or do they work on separate different projects?
And perhaps just starting with that, so each cohort has selects 50 individuals. Out of the 50, 25 are from Rwanda and 25 are from Kenya. And so that is just for one cohort. And so we would have about 2 cohorts every year. Norbert, what was the second question? I'm just blanking. There was a
So do they work out? So do those 50, those 25 from Rwanda and the 25 from Kenya work on a project together, or do the 25 from Rwanda work on one project? How does that actually work out?
That is a great question. In fact, when they come together, even during the residential program, they might decide to actually form a co-founding team with whoever they choose. So we see now, for instance, which is exciting, we have co-founding teams that have Kenyans and Rwandans, and they might decide to start their venture either in Rwanda or Kenya. I think there's just so much richness in that, because then they're coming with different contexts and they have all these different understanding of their respective ecosystems and the opportunities that they see, from both countries. We also have teams who decide that, well, we'll focus on in Rwanda. There might be just Kenyans or Rwandans, but the choice is really on the individuals. And so all we do is really step back and watch, and really trying to sort of, as they drive their progression and as they go through the stage of ideation and make their decision on ultimately who they want to be part of their co-founding teams.
Yeah, I think that's great. And just before we go to the next question, I just want to say, like, I really like that aspect of it because you get to interact and learn from people with different skill sets, people from different backgrounds, and someone from an experience of having grown up with people from different backgrounds. It really helps you grow and also lets you learn a lot. So I think that's something people should actually look forward to. Let's just jump to the next question. It's from Sarah. And Sarah's just asking, having an entrepreneurial background and business management, can I volunteer to be an entrepreneur facilitator for the team or the Jasiri group? It's a good question.
This is a good question. Is it Sarah? Okay, Sarah, I think I will actually put my email down there because I would love to get to know you. I would love to understand what is your background. I would love to talk to you and understand, how you can be part of this Jasiri community. We call it a Jasiri community because we have mentors from Kenya, from Rwanda, and so we also have. So I really would be very interested in understanding, what contribution you'd like to make as you support the Jasiri entrepreneurs. So I will put my email on the chat box and looking forward to chatting. And perhaps Norbert, just a quick one that is linked to the question that you asked. It's more than just thinking about Kenyans and Rwandans coming together within the team. It really is. I was attending this, during the fireside chat, and we had an opportunity for fellows to introduce to, the different ideas that they have. And it was interesting for them as they did so to say, well, my name is Isaac. My background is in agriculture. One of my colleagues might have a background in, say, in technology and etc. Just the synergies as they select their team members based on what they're bringing on the table and their different expertise, which ultimately would help grow, specific venture. So I think the beauty in that aspect of team formation comes from a place of just like diversity of their strength, both at a personal level, personality level, but also the expertise that they bring, to the team.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And I actually wish I could join this program also as well. But yeah, so yeah, there you have it. There's Aline's email address. So to Sarah, you can just write to her and interact more on that. Let me also just jump now to Marie-Ange. Okay, so Marie-Ange is just asking, for young entrepreneurs who have already started their own startup and are in the early stages, are we eligible for the program?
Norbert, did I lose you? Hello?
Sorry, Aline, are you
Norbert?
there? Sorry, I think we lost connection there for a bit. Sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, so let me just read out again Marie-Ange's question. So she's saying, for young entrepreneurs who have already started their own startup and are in the early stages, are we eligible for this program? My company is already profitable, but I believe this program can help me get to the next level.
Okay. So, Marie-Ange, that's a great question. And in fact, I think in the beginning of my presentation, I did explain that the Talent Investor Program is for individuals who are either at a pre-idea phase, so before they start to think about their ideas, or pre-revenue. So it's really this very, very early stage where they aren't even possibly sure of their business idea. They might have an idea, but your company that is already profitable actually needs to get to the next level, as you've explained. You would be better. You would better fit and benefit from our accelerator program, depending on your business or your entrepreneurial venture. So the Talent Investor program may not be a good fit for you because you're already generating revenue. It's very important for me to mention that as you come into the program, you actually go through the entire journey. So team might actually decide to come up with business idea that is way different from what you're doing. So there might be this clash there because you might be attached to your company that is already generating profits. So just to say that in your case, you are better suited and fit for the accelerator than the Talent Investor program if your company is already making profits. And Norbert, just a quick one here, that for anyone who is interested in collaborating on our website, they can actually visit our website and they can scroll right to the bottom of the homepage and send their details, and the team can actually reach out to them as well, and in understanding the specific interests and desire to collaborate.
Thank you very much, Aline. And I think just add on to Marie-Ange's point, and it's, by the way, congratulations on your venture. And I'm glad you're starting to see the fruits of it. And well done on even having the strength to go that path, because it's not an easy one. But also just to just keep following Skills Rwanda, because we also have other shows where we talk about accelerators that take you further the penetration level, and also just basically funding and investors that are venture capitalists and also angel investors that would be maybe interested in your ventures. So just follow us closely, and within time maybe your business could be picked up.
Yeah, and Norbert, Norbert, if I may on this one, and just wanting to pick from what you just mentioned with Marie-Ange. I am so pleased, to hear, Marie-Ange, that, as Norbert said, you're generating revenue, because we need more women in business. We need more women entrepreneurs. In fact, close about 30% of our applications, about close to 40 were women. And so that is very, dear to me. So really just encouraging you on this path, which I know is not easy. And depending on, Norbert touched on a number of things or opportunities for entrepreneurs. There's an organization called Ingomoko that works with entrepreneurs. There's an organization called the Siegel Family Foundation that also work with social enterprise. There's a lot that is currently, there are a number of organizations currently existing, working and supporting entrepreneurs. So through Norbert, you can certainly get that connection. So all the very best to you.
Thank you very much, Aline, for that. Yeah, I think we have just 7 more minutes. I think we can cover a few more questions. Let's just quickly jump to Richard. I have a question on the team functioning. Would they be working together on the same idea, or working in each idea coming together to share? I think Aline answered this, but maybe just quickly, briefly, you can just go over it quickly.
Yeah. Richard, thank you so much for your question. So the whole idea of the co-founding team is coming together, working on one idea, deepening the understanding of the idea, but also leveraging their unique strength and contribution in developing that idea. So it might be that it starts from a place of individual first, because in the beginning they don't know each other. They build that community, they build that understanding of who is who into the program, they build that connection. And we actually encourage in the very beginning that they move from team to team as they are trying to understand. They move from either teams or ideas as they try to understand what is the sort of what is the final team that they want to create based on all of these different factors that I've presented. There's a lot of research that indicates that co-founding teams actually have higher rates of success than businesses that actually go with solo entrepreneurs. And it's rightly so, because you can leverage the different strength and expertise from others, as in building that specific venture.
Okay, thank you very much, Aline. And then we have one from Adam again, and he's saying, do you accommodate non-profit ventures?
I actually would be keen to understand what is a non-profit venture, because whether it's a social enterprise or whether it's, ventures have to make profit. And you might decide to do what you want from those revenue. It might be that you reinvest them into the business, or you contribute, or to the communities around you, or for whatever purpose it can be. But a venture, ultimately, as you grow it, generate revenue. So I'd be keen to understand from Adam, what is a non-profit, venture? Happy to chat more.
I think also, just to jump in here, when usually when people hear the word entrepreneur, they automatically think your corporate business, your corporate small enterprise. But actually, and it's very good that you brought that question up, Aline. And I think maybe you can also help me here. But when we talk about entrepreneurs, it's really broad. So whether you're doing a social entrepreneurship, which is within NGOs, you're solving a problem, you're solving an issue, that is still an aspect of entrepreneurship. And maybe, Aline, maybe you just want to also elaborate on that.
Yeah, and perhaps this actually is a very nice reminder to just focusing on our specific, or the type of ventures that we're looking forward to seeing our fellow develop. And so we are talking about market creating innovations. These are the type of innovations that have been made affordable, accessible to the broader market. These are the type of solutions that actually take something that might have been complex and maybe not accessible to the majority of individuals, and making it accessible and affordable. And so, say Momo is a perfect example of it, because everybody uses Momo. It doesn't matter who you are, and who you are and what income you have. Everybody uses Momo. It's really taking a solution that addresses a particular problem and making it accessible. By doing that, you actually are growing your business, you're scaling it, you're creating revenue, and you're coming from a place of common good, wanting to solve that particular problem within the community. So these are the type of, you would see on the website, reference or materials to a market creating innovations. These are the type of innovations that we know would help develop our African continent, providing solutions that actually benefit to most people.
Thank you for that, for Aline, and thank you for just elaborating on that. And yeah, so guys, whatever idea you have, it's just about providing a solution. So if you think you have a solution to a problem, a solution to something, just feel free to apply. Don't be shy. And I think as we wrap up, let me just take one more question from Agnes, and then we can just give closing remarks as time is upon us. So thank you, Agnes. And she's just saying, to be among the 25 from Rwanda or Kenya, they have to be living in those two countries. Or those are those that are living abroad also have the chance to participate in the program. That's, I think, the first question. Maybe you can tackle that quickly, and then we jump onto a second.
Agnes, Thank you for that reminder, because there's a very, very important point that I realized that I didn't mention, and I should probably have started with it. Agnes, the Talent Investor Program attracts, selects Rwandans, Kenyans living in country and those from the diaspora, which means living in our communities, living abroad. And this is very important because I don't know where you're living, but if you are Rwandan or Kenyan, it doesn't matter where you live, please apply through the program. It actually is that we and in collaboration with Skills Rwanda, RDB, and we believe that our communities living abroad and their contribution would actually help advance our country forward. So we as Jasiri are actually encouraging that, and so we look forward to having individuals, coming from all over the world actually apply for the Talent Investor Program. And so I see your second question is to know whether we can increase the number of participants. This is a great question. For now, our numbers are around. We want to make sure that we're also keeping the cohort small enough so that we can actually provide that attention. We want to make sure that we understand those individuals or aspiring entrepreneurs' desire, motive, but also creating that community that would enable for the process of team formation and all these different stages that I've presented. So feel free to apply. Don't be intimidated by the number, because you actually might be that exceptional individual that you're looking for. Plus, you're a woman, so apply if interested.
Agnes, I tell you, I believe in you, so please apply. I think you'll be one of those exceptional 50. Okay, I think, yes, Aline, maybe let me just give you closing remarks, and then we will just wrap that up then. Maybe something you want to share with them, maybe anything you just want to say, feel free, the floor is yours.
Norbert, I thank you so much for having me. Our gratitude really as the philanthropy to the Skills Office, to RDB, for this opportunity to share our program and share our work as the Alan and Jill Gray Philanthropy. And so looking forward to many more of these opportunities to present our work to youth across the world. And to all of you who have been following us, thank you so much for being here. Just being here means to us that there's an interest that you have in the Jasiri Talent Investor Program. My hope is that you're walking out of this session having had an understanding of the program, and perhaps that excitement and interest in applying, if you see yourself as that individual that we've described. At times, I wish I was 20 or 25, because these are the type of programs that I would have applied for, that really, from a very intentional place, provide that support that then help those exceptional individuals achieve their entrepreneurial aspiration. And so, follow us, contact us through all these handles that are shared here, and looking forward to continuing this conversation. Many, many thanks. All the best from wherever you are, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Aline. Thank you. I think we this is a great collaboration we have with Alan Jill Gray, and especially the fact that it started just even before the pandemic. So I know the obstacles you guys have gone through, but you've done an exceptional job. We're looking forward to the second cohort. And really, thank you for that enlightening presentation. I think we'll even have you again, maybe for Wavumbuzi, and also the other programs that Alan Jill Gray will be offering. And also to our audience, this show cannot happen without you. We love having you every time. We love your questions. We love accommodating you from wherever you are. Some of you are joining from Southeast Asia, and I know it's in the evening now, but thank you very much for joining. Those of you in America, in Europe, in Africa, wherever you're joining from, thank you very much. And please, please follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube. That's Skills Rwanda, and we'll bring you a lot more. I think it was it Agnes, that Marie Ange, who had their own venture. Stay tuned to these series, and you will learn a lot more, and you'll get a lot more opportunities. And just as I wrap up and just get ready to say goodbye to all of you to enjoy your weekend, I just want to say, like, traditionally we were taught, after school, go apply for a job, but there's even the entrepreneurial landscape. Don't be shy, don't be scared, especially when you're still young and you don't have a lot of responsibilities. That's a perfect time to go through that avenue. I think we've seen what's happened with the pandemic, where a lot of staff are being laid off. It hasn't been easy on already a tough labor market that we have. And so think bold, think creative, and even like His Excellency likes to tell us all the time, think big. Think big and apply to the Jasiri Talent Program. And you never know, we could have you as our first unicorn in Rwanda. Thank you very much, everybody, and enjoy your weekend, and we are out.